Um, my background is so I was born in the Netherlands, but I grew up in a place called Airdrie. Um, it's just quite a, I don't know, normal sort of working class town in the west of Scotland. Um, yeah, like it's kind of a place, I don't know, nothing really goes on there. And yeah, when I was younger, I really wanted to get out of there. Because yeah, there's not a lot of opportunities. Um, but I know that like growing up, I was always into art. Like I can't really remember a time that I wasn't painting and just making things. Like I would make little outfits for like my dollies and yeah, I would drive my mum crazy because I just got would get paint all over the house and glue and yeah, I was always making stuff. Like I loved art. Um, so for me, it was kind of like a no-brainer that when I grew up, I wanted to be an artist or do something art related. I've never wanted to do anything else. Um, yeah, I guess for me, like, I was quite lucky to grow up in Scotland because it meant that I got university for free. Um, so I feel like I was around a lot of like fairly normal people from just like normal, like working class backgrounds. It wasn't until I moved to London for my first job. That was kind of one of the first times where I kind of encountered like how much privilege other people had and like I didn't grow up like I didn't grow up poor or anything and yeah like I never went without anything but I guess like I kind of met people and realized how much more of an advantage they had just because they lived in a major city or they had parents that could just pay their rent and they didn't have to work and yeah, which I think can be quite common in the art world. But yeah, I think more recently I started looking more at my Scottish heritage and where I grew up. I started making films about. Um, I made a film about my grandparents on my mum's side, so that's the Scottish side, and yeah, it was nice to kind of just rediscover like Airdrie and Scotland, and like it was a place that I kind of used to look down on, and now I'm quite proud to be from there and to have grown up there because um, I think people from my hometown are really down to earth and really nice and kind, and from living in so many different countries and living in so many places, like I've kind of realized that that can be quite rare sometimes. So I think to be from somewhere where people are nice and helpful is yeah, it's something to be proud of. Um, yeah, my biggest influences. I don't know. I don't really. I always find that question quite difficult because I don't really, there's not really like a specific artist or person that I look up to. I guess I just see things that people are doing and then I think like, well, that looks cool. Like I think I'll try doing a bit of that or whatever. Um, yeah, like I'm not really, uh, I couldn't think of an artist that, you know, really influences me. I just see cool things and I think, oh, I want to do that. Um, what am I focusing on right now? So I just completed, well, not just, but 2 years ago I completed a residency and I made like a big body of work, which was about grief and healing. And then straight after that, I was doing my master's with a program called the Reanima Project, the Reanima program. It's a joint master's. Um, and I went to 3 different countries and I got to meet loads of really cool people and yeah, I got my master's and I made a documentary about my grandparents and I was doing like animated installations and projection mapping and lots of cool things. And yeah, right now I'm doing a residency in a school, a high school. And yeah, it's very different. But what I've kind of found is like, I've been doing sort of project work quite intensely for the past 3 years, and I think now I just want to make work for the sake of making work, and I've been making like clothes and well, not making clothes, but printing on like shirts and jackets, and I've just been doing like little paintings. Um, and yeah, it's been nice to just make work for the sake of making work, really. I'm sure in the future I'll go back into a new project. But I think for now I just need to sort of take a bit of a year of rest in quotation marks and just make whatever I want to make, and it doesn't necessarily matter if it doesn't have any direction. um, Biggest challenge of being an artist. I think I think it's just being able to live and do what you love, which I think um, is what most people want to do. And then, sometimes like I forget how privileged I am to be able to have create a creative job and to just do what I love. And sometimes I have to kind of remind myself like how privileged I am to be in this position. Because sometimes, you wake up and you think, oh God, I have to do this, or I have to. Like today, I was complaining because I had to. I'm making like some sets for the school play, and I had to graffiti like a bunch of lockers and stuff. And I was like, oh, like, I can't be bothered. And then I kind of had to check myself and be like, this is a lot of people would love to be paid to do this. Um, yeah, so I should appreciate the position that I'm in. Um, yeah, but I think sometimes it can be easy to take things for granted. Um, yeah, and I don't know. Like I guess sometimes putting pressure on yourself can be a challenge. You just always feel like you have to be doing something worthwhile or making something worthwhile. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's okay just to chill and cut yourself some slack. Um, what advice would you give to your younger self? Um, just don't worry. Things will work out. Like you might feel a bit shit now, but later on, things will work out. So yeah, don't worry. And yeah, you'll do what you always wanted to do and more. So yeah, just keep going. It'll be fine. Have you ever tried any unconventional mediums or techniques? I don't really think I ever work conventionally. Like I don't work with like I don't know, like I'll mix different mediums together and I'll do a bunch of different stuff. Um yeah, I never really want to follow a script or follow a plan. I just do what I want really. Yeah, and I just see what works. Sometimes things fail, sometimes things don't. Nothing like really crazy. Yeah, one thing I would really love to do is try and do projection mapping using 8mm film. Um, but I just don't have the facilities or the money right now. But I'm hoping I can have that at some point. That would be really cool. Um, yeah. Do I listen to music? Yeah, sometimes. I like background noise. Also, I just love chatting. So if someone's in the studio with me, I can be a bit annoying because I just like talking a lot. But yeah, I like music or a podcast or something. Yeah, I don't really like silence, especially if I'm just somewhere on my own. Um, Best reaction someone has had to your artwork. When I showed my film to my family, they cried. Um, Not in a bad way. They just got emotional, which was really nice. And yeah, a lot of people have laughed a lot at my film, which is great because that's kind of the reaction that I wanted. Um, what do you hope people take away from your artwork? I don't know. I think if people can kind of relate, I'm really interested in like memory and one of my bodies of work was about healing from grief, and a lot of people, when I had my solo show, they said that they could, relate to that, and it helped them, to process some of their own feelings. And yeah, when I've done like sensory installations, which are about like memory and nostalgia and things about my grandparents, and it's people have told me that it's inspired them to, reconnect with their family or think about their memories and stuff like that. So yeah, I think if you can just inspire people in their personal life, like to do something nice for themselves or nice for other people, then yeah, I think that's all you want. Yeah, I think that's everything.